Bron Breakker just issued the most chilling, bone-rattling promise of vengeance in recent WWE history. And if Bronson Reed thought getting Breakker suspended from Raw would protect him, he's about to learn a terrifying lesson about what happens when you awaken a caged animal with nothing left to lose. The words that came out of Breakker's mouth weren't typical wrestling trash talk. This was a legitimate threat wrapped in barely controlled rage that has the entire WWE locker room on edge, management scrambling to contain the situation, and fans simultaneously thrilled and terrified about what's coming next. If you think this is just another worked suspension angle, you're dead wrong, because Bron Breakker is out for blood, and Bronson Reed's career might not survive what's about to happen. The suspension itself was the match that lit the fuse on this powder keg. After weeks of escalating violence between these two behemoths, Raw General Manager Adam Pearce finally stepped in and handed down what he called necessary discipline to restore order. Bron Breakker has been indefinitely suspended from Monday Night Raw following a backstage altercation with Bronson Reed that reportedly caused thousands of dollars in property damage and left multiple crew members shaken from witnessing the brutality. But here's where the story gets absolutely explosive. Breakker didn't accept the suspension quietly. He didn't issue some corporate-approved statement about respecting management's decision. Instead, he hijacked WWE's social media in the most unhinged, terrifying way possible, posting a video message that's already been viewed millions of times and has wrestling fans debating whether they're watching brilliant character work or genuine psychological breakdown. In the video, filmed in what appears to be a dimly lit gym, Breakker looks directly into the camera with eyes that aren't just angry, they're predatory. His voice is low, controlled, which somehow makes the words even more menacing. Bronson Reed, you think this suspension protects you? You think Adam Pearce putting me on the shelf means you're safe? I will make you pay for every cheap shot, every ambush, every second you thought you were tough. This suspension doesn't end anything. It just removes the rules that were keeping you alive. The delivery wasn't performed, it was felt. Every word dripped with genuine malice, genuine intent, genuine fury. This wasn't Bron Breakker the character threatening Bronson Reed the character. This felt like one human being promising to hurt another human being. Consequences be damned. First question for the comments, have you ever seen a more intense revenge promo than Bron Breakker's suspension response? And what's your all-time favorite vengeance storyline in wrestling? Drop your answers because this is already legendary. The backstory to this suspension reveals just how out of control the situation has become. According to multiple eyewitness reports from people backstage at Raw, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed had been kept separated throughout the show by explicit management order. Security was assigned specifically to ensure they didn't cross paths. Production scheduled their segments at opposite ends of the building. Every precaution was taken to prevent another violent confrontation. It didn't matter. Approximately 30 minutes before Raw went off the air, chaos erupted near the catering area. Bronson Reed, apparently believing he was safe with Breakker occupied elsewhere, was grabbing food when Bron appeared seemingly out of nowhere. What happened next was described by witnesses as absolute mayhem. Breakker charged Reed like a linebacker, spearing him through a table laden with equipment, then proceeded to beat him with such intensity that it took 8 security guards to pull him off. The damage was extensive, equipment destroyed, tables obliterated, a production monitor shattered, catering supplies scattered everywhere, and Bronson Reed himself left battered, bruised, and according to some reports, legitimately shaken by the ferocity of Breakker's assault. This wasn't a worked angle with pulled punches and protective measures. This was 2 elite athletes fighting for real with real consequences. Adam Pearce had no choice but to suspend Breakker immediately. The liability alone demanded action. But the suspension, rather than cooling things down, has only intensified Breaker's rage and given him a persecution complex that's fueling his quest for revenge. In his mind, he's been punished for responding to Reed's provocations, for defending himself against someone who's been targeting him for weeks. And honestly, he's not entirely wrong, which is why this is so compelling and so infuriating for fans who've been following this feud. Bronson Reed started this war. Reed attacked Breaker first, blindsiding him after a match, delivering multiple tsunamis that legitimately injured Bron and kept him off television for 2 weeks. Reed has been the aggressor, the instigator, the one who escalated violence at every opportunity. Comment your honest opinion. Was Bron Breaker's retaliation justified, or did he go too far? Should Reed also be suspended, or does being the original aggressor somehow excuse him from consequences? The double standard in WWE's discipline is absolutely maddening to Breaker's supporters. Bronson Reed has attacked Bron multiple times, including ambushes that should have resulted in suspensions, yet he faces no consequences. Bron retaliates one time, albeit explosively, and he's immediately benched. The perceived injustice is fueling Breaker's righteous fury and making him a sympathetic figure despite his violent tendencies. Breaker's vow of revenge continued in a series of social media posts that WWE hasn't deleted, suggesting they're either endorsing his rampage or have completely lost control of their talent. Every day I'm suspended is another day I'm training, another day I'm getting stronger, another day I'm planning exactly how I'm going to dismantle you piece by piece. Breaker posted alongside a video of him brutally attacking a heavy bag with strikes that would hospitalize an actual person. Another post showed Breaker watching footage of Reed's attacks on him, studying them with the intensity of a coach preparing a game plan. "I've memorized every move, every cheap shot, every moment you thought you were safe. When I come back, Bronson, there's nowhere on earth you'll be able to hide from me." The psychological warfare is masterful and terrifying. Breaker isn't just threatening violence, he's demonstrating meticulous preparation, showing that his revenge won't be impulsive rage, but calculated destruction. He's turning his suspension into an advantage, using the time to become more dangerous, more focused, more prepared to inflict maximum damage when WWE finally removes his leash. Bronson Reed's response has been notably more subdued, which tells you everything about the shift in power dynamics. Reed posted a brief statement claiming he's ready for whatever Breaker brings, but the bravado feels forced, unconvincing. Behind the scenes, reports suggest Reed is legitimately concerned about what happens when Breaker returns, that the intensity of their backstage fight exceeded anything he anticipated, that he may have awakened something in Bron that can't be controlled. The Steiner family legacy adds another layer to this story. Bron comes from wrestling royalty. His uncle Scott Steiner and father Rick Steiner were known for legitimate toughness and intensity that blurred the line between work and shoot. That genetic predisposition towards violence, that family reputation for not backing down from anyone, it all feeds into the narrative that Bron Breakker isn't just playing a character, he's channeling something primal and dangerous. Scott Steiner himself commented on the situation in an interview, saying, "If Bronson Reed thinks Bron's suspension helps him, he's dumber than he looks. In my day, if someone came at you like Reed came at Bron, you didn't wait for management permission to handle it, you handled it." And Bron's